Hi Raymond, I'm very happy to see these essays from you. So let's take a look at what you wrote. Do copyright laws limit creativity or reward it? Would society function better without such rules and regulations? Okay. Nowadays, during the digital era, it is common to debate about the value of copyright legislation as for creators themselves, as for the humanity in general. Okay, very nice. Let's clean up a little bit of the grammar though. Nowadays, during the digital era, it is common to debate the value, without a doubt, of copyright legislation, both for the creators themselves and for humanity in general. So you need to make some little changes here. Okay, remove the the. There are lots of suggestions regarding how to gain more benefits for humans without the, but I am fully in favor of freeing authors of any rules without out due to numerous reasons. Okay, so let's see what you have to say about this. Firstly, since the beginning of humanity, without the information was the force which has propelled us to the contemporary world, so that I strongly believe that during the epoch of the internet, we must share all the info we have. Okay, first of all, let's change this. Info is really informal, so just write out the whole word. Write out information. Okay. For instance, Google has had the project of creating the global library containing every book has known at present. Nevertheless, it has been frozen by numerous lawyers have requested the royalty. Okay, again, there are little instances of grammar problems. So, for instance, Google has had the project of creating a global library containing every book known at present, not has known, because when you write known at present, it means which is known at present. Nevertheless, it has been frozen by numerous lawyers who have requested royalties, plural. Therefore, valuable knowledge which could provide necessary data for science and benefits for humankind has been hidden. Okay, fine. Then, secondly, despite the idea that the legislation has been made to support creators financially, it is a well-known fact that more than 80% of royalties is ingested by governmental bureaucracy, layers, and publishers themselves. Okay, so it should be royalties, first of all. And second of all, ingested is not the right word here. I think you mean something else like consumed, or it goes to governmental bureaucracy, something else. So this needs to be changed. Then, there's a problem here. You're missing a W, so you've completely changed the word, making it layers instead of lawyers. Okay? And the publishers themselves, the publishers. Due to the current system, I know what you're trying to say here. That exists is what you're really trying to say here. You don't even need to, though, because current really just says the same thing. So due to the current system, programmers, songwriters, and artists have to find the support from publishers to protect their content from being monetized without noticing. Okay, so that if the community had got rid of the copyright protection, it would have been the next information revolution, I suppose. Okay, the first thing here is with this so that. It doesn't fit, and so it kind of confused me when I tried to read it. Let's see if we read it without so that, if it makes more sense. If the community had got rid of the copyright protection, it would have been the next information revolution, I suppose. Now, the other thing that I would like to remove is this I suppose, which also sounds very conversational. It certainly doesn't really sound right in an essay of this type. So let's remove that. And then we're just left with a basic message, which is, if the community had got rid of the copyright protection, it would have been the next information revolution. Now, this is a really strong statement when you're talking about information revolution. So it almost begs that you say what you mean. You explore a little more and you develop it a little more. So I'm not really sure it belongs here, which I think is supposed to be your summary statement here for this paragraph. Okay, so on the whole, I'm not really sure about the development of this paragraph. I mean, I understand that you're saying royalties don't go to the artists themselves. They're going to, the whole support network around the artist. But then here, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. So I'm a little concerned about the development. I'd like you to revise it a little bit, take a look at it, and make sure that it's more cohesive, that there's one main idea, and that the whole paragraph focuses on that main idea. Okay, to conclude, although current law system of copyright, it should be the current law system of copyright, is beneficial for publishers and a limited number of creators, the main purpose of these rules is feeding corporations and bureaucracy instead of motivating creators for sharing knowledge. Okay, read really easily, it was clear, it was well written, so really good job with that. Okay, so now let's go on to your task 1, which is a formal letter of apology. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to apology for my absence on the last exam. Okay, this needs to be the verb form here. All right, so it needs to be apologize during the last exam or at the last exam, but not on the last exam. My name is Bill Murray, student number this, case number 12. I want to explain the reason why I wasn't able to take the exam that day. Okay, now, let's remember that this is a formal letter, so we try to use as much indirect language as we can. Instead, it should be, I would like to explain the reason why I was unable, okay, we don't have any contractions here, so why I was unable to take the exam that day. Okay. I supposedly had eaten rotten food a day before the exam, so that I was sick and felt dizziness on the examination day. Okay, not supposedly, but maybe here I believe I had eaten rotten food, or you could have just said I suffered food poisoning the day before the exam. Presumably I had eaten rotten food. Yeah, okay, something along these lines, but I don't think supposedly is the right word here. So I was sick. You didn't even need so that has a different meaning from so please review the difference. Okay, this should be so I was sick and felt dizzy, not dizziness, but just dizzy, the adjective, on the examination day. I was able to visit a doctor only on the next day after the exam. Therefore, that was the only day when I could receive necessary evidence of my state. Okay, fine. Please propose the day when I could provide medical documents I have had for your consideration and when we might discuss the options I have in such situation. Okay, I like the formal language here. This is well done. Please propose the day when I could provide medical documents I have for your consideration. You can get rid of this. And when we might discuss the options I have in such a situation. It would be excellent if you tell me the phone number of the person who is in charge and might help me to solve this issue as soon as possible. Okay. Again, now, it starts out good, but then it gets, again, a little too conversational, a little too informal. So instead, I would appreciate if you could provide me the contact information of someone who could assist me with this situation to resolve the issue as soon as possible. Something like this sounds a little more formal and certainly more natural. Now, the last thing I want to mention is your sign-off. You wrote best regards. Remember, though, that it was addressed to your sir or madam, and this means that the closing, the sign-off here, needs to be yours faithfully. Because when we don't know who we're writing to, when we don't know the name of the person, we finish with yours faithfully. Okay, nice job. I saw a lot of nice elements here. It was good. There's one little thing I would like. Possible resolutions to consider. You didn't really give any. So this needs to be developed then a little further. Possible resolutions, they mean more than one, which means that you have to make a couple of suggestions how this can be solved. So even though we revised the language of this last sentence, it actually needs to be rewritten with some of these possible resolutions. You need to provide some suggestions for how the situation can be solved. Okay, and that's just a little bit in terms of your task achievement. All right, so great job with these on the whole. Nice to see you working so hard. Don't forget to correct these essays. I hope the corrections have been helpful. And I hope I see the corrected essays with your new ones within the next 24 hours. So until then, good luck and good job writing.